Welcome back to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Namovsky, and today's topic is new happy. Stephanie, before we went to break, I mentioned the impact of old happy. So, what is the impact of old happy upon the world that we live in now?
We What's really interesting, I think, is that when we look at the world and we see all of the problems that are occurring, they all feel impossible to solve, right? They're so enormous, so intractable in many different ways. And my argument is that after all of this research I've done, that old happy actually is what contributes to and keeps those problems pervasive. Because essentially, all of us, we are every single day pursuing happiness. We are trying our very best to be happy. But if we are going out and pursuing happiness through the form of seeking perfection, trying to win in life's competition, trying to achieve as much as we can, even at other people's expenses, and really forgetting our connectedness to one another, how is that million and million and millions of actions going to add up to these bigger problems that we're facing, like the loneliness crisis, the mental health epidemics, the difficulty that we have in solving problems like climate change, which feel impossible to solve? And ultimately, if we do not address this fundamental root cause of all of these problems, which is our understanding of happiness, I don't think we'll ever be able to make a meaningful change in the world and start to really build the world that we all want to live in, which is a place where everybody gets to be happy, where people get to experience well being. Because what could be more important than that?
Agreed. When I was reading your book, Stephanie, I was thinking there's so many topics that come up on the show with different women that things that we struggle with the imposter syndrome, there's suicide, there's perfectionism. And that seems to be coming up in the book a lot. So, what is a better way to be happy?
I always want people to recognize that the secret to happiness is actually quite simple. It's to be who you are and then to share who you are to help other people. And this integration of your most authentic self expression in the form of service to other people is what will provide you with everything that you're searching for. It will bring you the positive emotions, the sense of meaning and purpose. It'll help you to build relationships. It'll help you to know that you're making an impact on the world and leaving a legacy that makes a difference and that contributes to the world in some way. And through these two tasks, which are really, of course, the work of a lifetime, we get to grow as individuals, to develop our skill set, to learn, to make a difference in the world, and also to know that all that we're doing has this impact on people, this extraordinary impact that changes their lives in ways for the better too. And so, what New Happy is really all about is recognizing that there is a way to be happy for yourself personally that also helps other people to be happy. And that to me is the most beautiful win win that exists in the world.
Absolutely. So, how do you recommend people start finding their new happy?
I think that one of the first things is to identify when you're getting caught in old happy. And this is one of the simplest practices that can have a real major impact. Because one of the things about old happy is that it's subconscious, right? We've been conditioned into these ideas. And so we have to start to peel them away. And this is a process that I call unwinding old happy. And really, it's simply paying attention to when those thoughts occur in your head that say, oh, I'm not good enough, or I have to be perfect, or I have to hide who I am, or maybe conversely, I can't ask for help, I can't lean on anybody, I can't show that I'm struggling. In those moments when you hear that voice in your head saying those words to you, just pause, take a breath, and say, that's old happy. That's not me. That's not the truth of who I am, and it's not how I want to live. And in that moment, when you choose to really counter that, you also have the opportunity to make a different choice, to decide how you'd like to move forward. And it's one step at a time that we learn to unwind old happy in that way.
I love it. I love that. There's so many of us that, struggle. We're running around doing stuff for other people, for ourselves. There's work, there's home. There's a lot going on. What about caring for yourself?
Mhm. Caring for yourself is one of the most beautiful practices that exists because it reminds us that we're worthy of love no matter what. And so when I think about self care, I think about the recognition of who I am as a person and knowing that I don't need to be perfect. And so to me, that looks like treating myself with compassion, especially when I mess up or when I don't do something the way that I wanted it to, or maybe I don't get to everything on my to do list, and just pausing and saying to myself, hey, Stephanie, it's okay. You're a human. You're trying your best, and you can always learn from this and keep going. And it's that simple act of care that can really make a big difference.
And I love the fact that, you keep bringing up perfectionism because there is no such thing. It's a moving scale. So when we come back, we're going to continue on with the new happy. So please don't go away.